Welcome to Career Choices, the show where you'll learn about different professions so you can make informed decisions on your career choices. I'm your host, Elizabeth Gia. Today's guest, Garrett Boorojian, is the Chief Development Officer and Managing Partner of WaveCapital Partners, LLC. The business works to find investors to fund commercial real estate, hospitality, and other large projects nationwide. Garrett's focus is the business development at WaveCapital. He's recognized for his ability to foster and maintain key business relationships. A strong networker, he keeps in touch with friends and associates all the time. Garrett is a graduate of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with a BA in Journalism and Mass Communications. Also, one summer as an undergraduate at Georgetown University, he earned a certificate from the Institute on Political Journalism within the Fund for American Studies. In his former career, he's worked for ESPN and NBC Universal. Welcome, Garrett.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me. I appreciate it.
Likewise. Thanks for being on our show.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what exactly is WaveCapital?
Well, WaveCapital Partners, we're an investment banking consulting firm, and we're in 5 cities. We're in Orlando, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, New York, Chicago, Illinois, and Irvine, California. And we're an investment banking consulting firm, and we represent a whole host of clients who we have a fiduciary relationship. And what that means is that we represent them and our allegiance is to them. Even though we have capital sources who are just strong as our relationships with our clients, our capital sources are stock and trade. It's venture capital firms, private equity firms, institutional banks, high net worth individuals, family offices, joint venture firms, and those firms, those groups who we like to partner with our clients, depending on what the commercial real estate product is or what the energy product is, hospitality, consumer retail, technology, aviation, automotive, the list goes on, a plethora of business opportunities. And we're so fortunate at WaveCapital to represent a diverse set of clients, and our job at the end of the day is to help them through that funding process and successfully funding their project.
You said funding, so can you give me an example of a past or current project that you've successfully funded?
Sure, absolutely. One past project and then just broadly some current projects we're financing, but one past project that stands out is Lake Point Sporting Community and Town Center in Emerson, Georgia, just north of Atlanta.
Okay.
And it's a family sports premier vacation destination comparable to a Disney World type of amusement park. And my father was introduced to this project, and 208 registered rejections before WaveCapital got onto the scene. In 15 months, my father was able to successfully get that project funded, $52 million to get that project kickstarted off the ground.
Wonderful.
And 2 million visitors later, 20% complete, and we're on to the second and third round of financing.
So you had mentioned your father, and he's a key part of WaveCapital, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's our chairman and CEO, and as his chief development officer and one of the co-managing partners, my colleague is our CFO, executive VP, and another managing partner. And in the last 3 years of being a part of WaveCapital, I have originated 80% of our new clients, our new business opportunities, as well as 100% of our personnel outside of my father and I. So it's been a remarkable success, and we're looking forward to the growth and development.
So how did you decide to jump into this role? It sounds like it's exciting, it's dynamic. It can be challenging to find the leads.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think what it is for me is that I leverage my relationships, past, present, and I'm always looking for future opportunities to make great relationships. But I've always considered myself to be a strong networker, always putting myself out there. I think that with my journalism background and to be able to communicate effectively and knowing what the target audience is and knowing what my message has to be, it's the ability to professionally network effectively and from there to effectively develop business opportunities, and that leads to long-term building of relationships for WaveCapital.
So when you made the transition from media to being a business executive, what was that transition like? Skill-wise or even your schedule, location-wise?
Well, sure, exactly. I think after I graduated from UNC Chapel Hill, that was 7 years ago, I had worked in different industries, from interning on Capitol Hill to working for NBC, ESPN, doing local sports radio, local broadcasting. And really finance and the investment banking world was not on my radar, but I decided, to get my real estate licenses. And by getting my real estate licenses in North and South Carolina, I'm an active real estate broker. I don't practice all the time. I was a broker for a year and a half, but that didn't seem to be of interest to me. I really wanted to focus more on the client and business development side, and WaveCapital was that platform that my father created. And in the last 3 months, or 3 years rather, I've been able to implement that.
Wonderful. So it just sounds like a transition, a pivot.
Right.
Most young people go through this, and it sounds like you've been doing it and it's working out wonderfully.
Sure.
So what about pay, compensation, or how does this work for someone beginning out in this field?
Well, as an entrepreneur, you are on a commission-based structure. You're not on salary. So you really have to find within that human capital, being able to use your God-given talents and your innate abilities to go out there, and you're on your own schedule, you're on your own time, you're setting your own regimen of how you want to go about your days. And really, it was a learning curve at first because I had to learn how to really target the right people for our company, whether it's prospective clients or building up our funding relationships, these capital groups that invest in our projects. And also, it took some time to find the right personnel. But I think that we really hit our stride at WaveCapital. We've expanded into our 5th city, and we have a great team. It's a joy to work with them and learn from them and develop from them. I'm the youngest guy on staff at 29, but you know, we really have this great father-son relationship with my father and I. He being a baby boomer, I'm a millennial, and you have people in between. But it really has created a nice dynamic, and I think that's why we're really gaining a lot of success, and a lot of people have attention on us.
That's wonderful. It sounds like building the trust, building the team.
Sure.
And also, what about training and experience? People who may want to do what you're doing now, what type of jobs or experience should they gather for themselves to prepare?
Well, absolutely. I think really it doesn't matter whether you have a communications or media background. You can have a business background. Obviously, you can come from the legal profession, the medical profession. It depends on how you can leverage your real-world experience that you're applying your academia or your education, whether it's college, master's degree. But for business development and client development, to be able to cultivate relationships and for a purpose, not just for the sake of networking, whether you're going to a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a town hall or the local coffee shop, but really it's leveraging relationships that maybe you have cultivated from different parts of your life, and you find a platform like an investment banking firm, consulting firm that we have created at WaveCapital. And now I'm able to target and I'm able to pull together relationships and that have benefited our company in terms of finding new clients or finding new business opportunities.
So you had said that Emerson mixed use park.
Right, exactly.
How did you get that off the ground after so many other people before you came and couldn't make it work?
Well, I think WaveCapital, my father was really integral in that. And what he was able to accomplish, he was able to see the vision. You know, WaveCapital as a company was able to see a vision. You have to be as passionate as your client. And after 208 people before us, WaveCapital came in and we saw this golden opportunity to be able to really have to take the message and encourage people that we knew in the financial community to take a look at this, see it as the right investment opportunity, to be able to see the vision long term of how successful it can be, where you have, you know, sports arenas and complexes and ball fields and hotels and retail and hospitality type of venues, venues in the medical field that really caters to the athletes if they get injured or if they get sick. You have to really not only take care of the athletes because they're amateur youth sports type of athletes, but you have families who get to enjoy and vacation there as well. So while they're watching their child play baseball, they can go down to the local restaurant or they're checking into the local hotel spa because it's all inclusive. It's like an all-inclusive staycation type of resort. And to try to take that vision that's not there and to be able to extrapolate out all of the positives and all of the goodwill that it will cause, you really have to find the right funding group that not only looks at it as dollars and cents, but can also look at it as a golden opportunity to make an impact in a community. And what this has is it's made an impact across the country.
Wonderful. It sounds like it took some effort, but
Sure.
you saw the potential of the
Sure.
project
Sure.
for more than what it was just on paper.
Absolutely. So my business development opportunities that I've created from a business development standpoint, you know, when we're now focusing on the next rounds of financing for this big project, it's the relationships that I've been cultivating the last 3 years that we're able to go those relationships and now take it to a next step further.
I'm very interested in hearing
Sure.
more about cultivating these
Sure.
relationships, because we know in today's world networking
Right.
is so important.
Yes, it is.
So we'll talk about that.
Absolutely. I look forward to that.
It's time to take a break. Stay with us and we'll continue our conversation with Mr. Garrett Boorojian about his experience.
Can you consent with me? Imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read.
So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child.
So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life.
Book people unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year, I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darks there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Welcome to Career Choices. In today's program, we've invited Mr. Garrett Boorojian to talk about his experience as an executive with WaveCapital Partners, LLC. So tell me, Garrett, these individuals who would like to apply or get a position in your field,
Sure.
it's kind of difficult to say you want to apply to become a Chief Development Officer, but how do you get to that level?
Well, that's a really great question. You can take a lot of different approaches. I think that when you're coming out of college, let's say as a recent college graduate, you know, it's interesting because a lot of corporations or even small businesses, you can apply right online. Maybe the posting is right online and there's a number you can call, there's an email address you can email. I've always been the proponent of, you know, walking the door and trying to introduce myself to the face of the company with my resume, and I'm not shy to do that, and I haven't been in the past. And I think that if you really want to stand out, you should be creative, you should be bold, you should show your level of interest, and it's a considerable one, because if you really want that job, it's going to come out. It's going to show to a potential employer, as he's looking at a potential employee, that you're serious about that job. So yes, even if you can only apply online and they discourage you from, you know, walking the door, don't let that be a discouragement. Actually, still walk through that door, because it makes all the difference in the world. And if you know, coming out of college, if you want to be somebody who is an entrepreneur and corporate life is not for you, I still think that if you find that maybe in the first early 3-4 months or even a year of trying to be an entrepreneur, and you feel like, you know, probably more of a corporate position and a salary is good for maybe the first 3 to 5 years, and to explore different career paths or different companies within a certain industry.
That's true.
I think that you'll meet a lot of different people, you'll experience what you like and what you don't like, because the greatest thing in life is to have choices, and it's better to know what you don't like And
Early.
Early,
Yes.
exactly, very much so early. And then slowly but surely, you'll know what you like in the long run, and it's going to shape your career path, and you're going to feel more confident that you have found the right path for you.
It sounds like that's what you did in a way.
Right.
And so now in your chief development capacity,
Sure.
what's your typical day like?
Well, a typical day, I mean, I've had to put in 80, 90-hour weeks the last 3 years. And it feels like it's been nonstop. You know, Monday through Friday, you work early hours going into the late hours of a day. And sometimes you even have to work on the weekends too, especially since WaveCapital really, it's backed by over 100 years of experience of managerial, law, finance, media, people who have had to negotiate on behalf of clients. It's really a boutique investment bank firm, but we've had to expand our reach, right? And even though that we are a company that is so strong on not only on clients, but also sourcing of clients' business opportunities, WaveCapital has only been in existence for 5 years.
So then on a day-to-day basis, what are you doing to grow the business?
So constantly networking, constantly developing business opportunities, and trying to build on those relationships. When we close on a business deal, when it's a successful transaction, we're able to finance projects behind that one if it's with a particular client, or we have client references who can speak and vouch on behalf of our successful performance that lets us have new business opportunities. So I'm always constantly touching and monitoring a relationship. I'm always with my colleagues on phone calls during the day, doing research, using social media, going to traditional form of networking events, but really educating myself on the business opportunity. That's my role, to really understand the client's needs and understand the business opportunity.
When you say business opportunity, can you
Right.
give me some concrete examples? What are they looking for? What are their needs?
Sure, I mean clients, if they're looking, let's say it's a $40 million multifamily complex. It's a mixed-use, maybe development complex that has multifamily hotel retail components. And our job, our responsibility, if our client is looking for debt, which is obviously a loan that a client will eventually have to pay off, what's called debt service. They have to pay off the debt service, or a client's to be looking for equity, an equity in partner, an equity infusion into the business deal.
So you're finding them these fiduciary partners who can make debt or equity happen for them.
Well, our clients are our fiduciary relationship.
Okay.
But our relationships on the debt and equity side, it depends on what structure of the deal warrants debt or equity. Some deals where clients, any client you talk to, they're going to want debt before they ever consider equity because they don't want their ownership to be diluted. But if they welcome a partner, if they know that coming to us, because WaveCapital, we go to our non-traditional, long-standing relationships that are highly coveted, and that's what makes us very valuable in the marketplace. For us to be able to go to our relationships and to be able to look at a deal, and they're so creative and unique in how they process, how they contemplate, how they want to get that deal structured. But it's our job to have the perfect marriage between a client and a funding group. You have to have that perfect marriage, because the last thing you want is to put the wrong capital provider with the right client, or the wrong client with the right capital provider.
So you need to match them up pretty much perfectly.
Absolutely, and that takes some time and effort. That definitely does. And when you give the client 4 or 5 different opportunities to look at different capital structures, and they go with one, it feels good to find that.
So what do you think is the most important experience or skill that you need to get to where you are? It sounds like you're definitely working very hard. You're networking, you're traveling, you're meeting all sorts of people.
Absolutely.
So what skill sets are your strengths that make this job something you do well?
I think it's really, and it might sound cliche, but just being you. You have to come across in the most honest, genuine, sincere way possible, because people find that, well, how is it possible to go to the most high profile of places, environments, talking to the most high profile people, relationships that I have, low profile, high profile, and to be able to command their attention and respect, and in their busy days and in their, travels, they're running industry. I mean, they're the leaders of our free market capitalistic society. So whether they're domestic or international, you have to be able to get their attention. And if you're able to come across and be bold and you know what your message is and you know what the audience is, you know what the opportunity is, you'll know what your limitations are or how you would want to get other people involved from your organization to then take it to the next level of getting a prospective client or getting a potential funding source for an existing client on the phone in an in-person meeting, and to really explain the story of, hey, this is what WaveCapital does. This is how we diversify ourselves from other groups. You should take a look at what type of business opportunities or business deals that our clients have that we're in the process of funding, and we need your help. We need your expertise. We're our clients' consultants, right? We are the consultants to our clients, but we are using our consulting capabilities, our relationships between our clients and our relationships.
So you're kind of the broker.
Well, we're not brokers, we're consultants, and that's how we diversify from real estate brokers or other investment banking houses. Our clients were on a non-exclusive consulting arrangement.
I see.
So
What do you find the most satisfying about your work?
our clients are what make our job so satisfying, gratifying, rewarding, because again, I mentioned earlier in the program about our human capital. Our human capital, I mean, without human beings, all you have is empty buildings or empty streets. It's the human element. It's to be able to have that one-on-one relationship that our client knows at the end of the day that we are going through the extreme lengths to get their project funded, and we're not going to stop. The matter does not rest until the client's objective is fulfilled. That's the WaveCapital motto, and our clients respect that, understand that, and appreciate that, and when they see that we work on their behalf to get a deal done or funded, then they can go to other friends, family, other relationships in the business community and say, you know what, take a look at WaveCapital. They're going places. They're doing big things.
So it sounds like you've definitely felt a sense of huge accomplishment when a
Right.
deal comes through. So now tell me about any things that you find most challenging or things you may not be as excited dealing with.
Well, I think that if you don't have the stamina, if you don't have that perseverance, if you don't have that will to just keep on fighting through any challenges or obstacles that come your way, because even the best of what people do in their respective industries and what sets them apart from the competition and what makes them successful, you're going to have your days where you're tired, or you're going to have your days where you feel like, you know, how much more could I give, because it's a very intense oriented industry. Investment banking is similar to media and journalism, which I also have a background in. So I guess because having got a journalism degree and just having that ambitious drive that I have and never going to stop until I get something accomplished and always setting goals for myself, you need to have that mindset. You need to have that competitive drive and spirit, and you need to always look at anything that is a potential challenge that you're going to overcome, because the last thing you want to do, Elizabeth, is that you're going to get complacent, and you never want that to happen. So as long as you keep on thinking and be innovative, be motivating yourself and the others around you, and it's such a team. It's such a team at WaveCapital. Everybody's pulling for each other. Everybody, you know, really truly admires each other, and you have to have people with work ethic, and you have to have people who continue to ask questions and not afraid to ask questions and not afraid to learn and grow and develop together, and that's how winning's done.
Sounds like you definitely have that drive and to stay hungry.
Sure.
So any other last thoughts in terms of, for our viewing audience, we have about a minute left.
Sure.
About if they want to be that kind of entrepreneur, trying to do something from building it up, what can they do for themselves to prepare?
Well, absolutely. Well, it's such a different approach for many different people. Everybody's going to have their own unique approach. Do they want to impact the community? Are they just doing it for the money, or are they wanting to leave a legacy? For me, I've always wanted to leave a legacy. My father built this company. I'm building it with him. I want to be able to take it over someday and put people around me, and for us to continue to grow and develop it. And I think that if you want to become an entrepreneur, it should be more about just the profit. It should be about making a difference in other people's lives. If you're going to be working on behalf of clients, or your company is something that is not just something where you're making a profit, but you're impacting for the greater good, that's what my wisdom that I can impart on fellow aspiring entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Garrett. And thank you for sharing this time with us. This concludes today's program. Thanks to our guest, Mr. Garrett Boorojian, and thank you for joining us. If you have any feedback or comments, or if you would like to share your experience, please email us at qip.career.choices@gmail.com. And we'll see you next time on Career Choices.